Jets, 4-12, last in the AFC East.
3rd down and 4, empty backfield, 5 wide. Geno Smith in the shotgun at the Jet 26. Here comes a blitz. He floats one left side for Decker. It drops in. There goes Eric Decker. He's at the 50, to the Dolphin 40. He's gone to the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown.
The Jets suffered a down season, but made a variety of moves to fill their many holes, including bringing in a new head coach in Todd Bowles, trading for perennial All-Pro receiver Brandon Marshall, upgrading their secondary with Darrelle Revis and Antonio Cromartie, and drafting well with Leonard Williams and Devin Smith. The only question surrounding this loaded roster revolves around the quarterback position, especially with Geno Smith sidelined with a broken jaw after being punched by a former teammate.
Whether he got injured in the locker room or injured on the field, if he got injured, you have to treat it the same. It's really next man up, and our team was a lot more than just one person, as we stated in a couple of incidences. So their guys are just going to have to step up, and it's just going to help us grow.
Will Geno win his starting job back once he returns? And if so, will he progress enough on the field to lead this talented roster?
I got to laugh. The only thing this loaded team lacks is the quarterback position. Well, hey, listen, they did certainly spruce up and brought in a lot of players. You heard some of the names there during the preview. Our next guest has been there for a long time, 6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first-team All-Pro, and he joins us on the Ring Central hotline. That is Center Nick Mangold. Ring Central, the providers of cloud phone and collaboration solutions for easy and seamless business communications. Proud Buckeye. What's happening, Nick, Tiki, and Brandon? How are you, bud?
Good. How you guys doing?
We're doing okay. First of all, who did you think was going to start last night for the Ohio State Buckeyes?
I like the rest of the country, I had no idea. And then I just saw something this morning that he wasn't even told until right before the first play.
Yeah.
So coming out there and being able to perform with that kind of uncertainty is a good sign.
You guys look good. Braxton Miller, pretty seamless transition. Here's what I want to ask you about the NFL. The first thing, and you're a straight shooter. Nick has been very savvy with the media and a good guy locally and a great player for a long time. So I know you'll answer this truthfully here. I know a lot of pro athletes say, well, I want to beat the best, and, I'd rather not play a compromised team. My response is nonsense. If I'm you, I was hoping that Tom Brady got suspended for 4 games, right?
Yeah, I think it's how it worked out in the courts, and I'm glad that the union was able to do their due diligence and get the thing figured out, especially before the start of the season, because I think we've been talking about it long enough. And it's time for some real football.
But how much did you guys really pay attention to that as a team collectively? Because let's face it, it's the Pats' division to win again until one of you guys knock them off the perch.
Well, I think it wasn't going to matter either way. Our game isn't until later at the beginning of the season here. So for us, it didn't matter. And the more important task is Cleveland coming up here.
Yeah, obviously, the more important task is the game that's at hand, which is the Cleveland Browns. When you look at your team, though, it's all the questions have been about the quarterback, and we all know who Ryan Fitzpatrick is, and he's good. He's done some good things. He's done some bad things as well, but he's not going to lead you down a path of destruction. The question is what Geno Smith can be if and when he comes back to that starting role. Did you get a sense before this injury happened, and I know it was early, that he was ready to take that next step?
Yeah, he was coming along, and it was obviously a very unfortunate incident that no one has ever experienced and probably never will again. But I think he was making progress, and I would have really liked to have been able to see him out, in a real game situation, because he was doing well in practice and making the right calls and the right reads and everything. So definitely unfortunate, but, we're moving on. And I think we're very fortunate with the fact that Fitz has had experience not only, in the league and being around and a couple different teams, but I think bigger on that is the fact that he has experience with the coordinator, Chan Gailey. Mm-hmm. I think if we had a different backup in it would have taken longer, to get up to speed with him and communication and everything. But since he has that familiarity with Chan's offense, I think that's helped us with the transition.
I don't disagree. He's played his best football with Chan Gailey. That's Nick Mangold, center of the Jets, right here on Tiki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio. Here's what I don't get, Nick, because the one thing that I really, and I spoke to Damian Woody about this. I know you know Damian pretty well. The one thing I didn't get when we first heard about the incident in the locker room, I'm saying, how the hell does somebody not jump on IK and pummel him to a bloody pulp? Where was everyone?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, it's in the past. It's now over 4 weeks ago. So we're moving forward. We got more focused on the Browns and rehashing the old stuff.
No, wait, hold on a sec. Has Todd Bowles created a more savvy Jets team and what they allow the media to? This is a little bit of a different Nick Mangold here, Nick. A little buttoned up today, Mangold.
A little. I beg to differ. I think Nick Mangold is the same all the time, even in third person.
I like that. But what he talks about Todd Bowles. What's the difference between him and Rex?
I think the biggest thing that I've noticed, and after 10 years, you get to experience a lot of different coaches coming through, whether position, coordinator, head coach, and I've had other coaches that have been former players, but this is the first time with a head coach as a former player, and you can tell that there's something different, and I don't know if it's a understanding of what you're going through or what it takes to get to where you are, but there's something a little different about having a former player as your head coach. But he definitely has an air of he's not going to say much, but when he does, you're paying attention and you're listening.
And that's effective. I mean, and listen, I loved Rex. I know you guys enjoyed playing for Rex. I know a lot of guys who are no longer with the team who played for and raved about him. He's the kind of guy that I'd want to play for. I'm sure Tiki would have enjoyed it as well. But after a while, when the mouth stops cashing the checks, especially in New York City, it gets a little old. So I think it's a welcome addition. I think it seems more business-oriented, less bluster. And it takes me to the division here, Nick. Since you've been in the NFL, I don't think we could ever make the statement that the Pats could win the division, the Jets could win the division, the Dolphins could win, and so can the Bills. It seems like it's been the most competitive, at least on paper now, than it has been since you entered the NFL, no?
Yeah, you look at the AFC East, and I think it's going to be an amazing division for football this year. It seems like everyone got better. We're all intertwined between players moving around, the rivalries that have been there for years. It's going to be a fantastic year just because of the talent level on all the teams, and everyone wanting to win. And I think you look at the defensive lines across this division, and it's going to be a challenge for all of us having to go up against those guys because every one of them is one of the best in the NFL.
Yeah, when you have a great defense, as it seems like a lot of the teams in the division have, you need to have the counterbalance on offense. Now, you look at your skill position guys, Nick, and it's Brandon Marshall and Decker, and it just feels like this team offensively has everything it needs to be successful. Is that the feeling that you guys have as an offense, even though there's been uncertainty at quarterback?
Yeah, we have. I think we did a great job this spring in free agency and everything of bringing in skill positions. But at the same time, the guys that we've had here, Chris Ivory, Bilal Powell, Eric Decker, those guys are unbelievable. And, I think it puts it on us up front that we got to do our job, whether, we're passing the ball or running the ball, to give these guys a chance to make the plays because we all know what they can do. We just got to be able to give them the time to do it.
Yeah, there was a feeling, in the past couple of years, if the Jets fell behind 17-3, or 20-6, whatever it might be, you kind of have to abandon the run, and the ability to quick strike and get a quick touchdown really, in large part, wasn't there, especially when Decker hurt his hammy a year ago in the second half against the Packers. It seems like, certainly in the red zone with Marshall as a target, that the Jets, while the defense should be spectacular, it looks like there's more balance and probably as much balance maybe since Rex's first season. You agree with that?
Yeah, we have some amazing targets. You talk about Brandon in the red zone and watching him go to work, especially against our corners. You have Revis and Cromartie, and watching those guys battle as a red zone target is going to be a great bonus for us. And then, the fact that you have, Brandon on one side and Eric on the other side, it's kind of pick your poison. Do you double up Brandon and leave Eric one-on-one? Do you try to zone it behind it? I think it's going to create some mismatches for us that are going to be great to our advantage.
Yeah, you look at Darrelle Revis, and I know what his impact is going to be on the field. He's amazing. He's still one of the top players on defense in the entire league, position agnostic. But what's he meant to the locker room? Especially coming off a Super Bowl. It's one thing to be a great player. It's another to be a great player with a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, having Reed back and everyone knows his play on the field, and I think that's well documented that how great he is as a corner, and how long he's been doing it for very well. But I think what gets lost a little bit is in the locker room and on the practice field. You know, he's one of the hardest working guys you'll see out of practice. He's a quiet guy in the locker room, but he's got and he's had this since the first time he came in. You know, it was just that quiet air of doing his job, doing it the right way. And, you know, you want to follow that, and watching the young guys look up to him is a great thing for us.
I'm sorry, Tika.
Do you give him crap because he won the title with the enemy?
Don't bring that bling in my house. Get rid of that. Do not bring that into the locker room. Do not do it.
It definitely adds, you know, since it's weird because, you know, we were together. He was drafted the year after me, and we were together for so long, and then have him go off and have those 2 years and then come back, but come back with a ring. It was definitely a weird seeing him again, knowing, you know, everything that he's been through. But then, you know, once you get back, it's like we never left off.
Did it give you
Nick
heartburn?
Mangold here.
Did it give you heartburn, Nick?
Well, no, because I'm protected by Prilosec OTC.
Nice. What do you do with Prilosec? Tell us real quickly.
You can go to youcan'tbeatzero.com and check it out, because Prilosec OTC is giving away or donating 1 million meals to 30 different food banks across the country, and you can go on there, sign in for a chance to win tickets and a trip to the Super Bowl. They've partnered up with the Taste of the NFL, which I've been a big fan of. I've done it for many years here with the Jets. And when I saw this come across, the opportunity to help so many people, I had to jump on it.
And by the way, Nick, when Nick was in the studio earlier this morning and his PR team dropped off a few packages, which, by the way, is still sitting next to Tiki, and I actually used Prilosec, and, you know, give me one of those, especially in the last couple of years.
Yet?
What's that?
He hasn't passed him over.
No, they were just sitting there. I was going to sneak them home.
Well, now he gave me both. You can have one.
Nice,
We got one each. Hey, Nick, I don't know how you watch the NFL draft. It seems like every veteran is different. Some people really care. Some could care less. We'll meet you in training camp. But when Leonard Williams, or the OTAs, the first workouts, when Leonard Williams fell to you guys, I said, wow, this is incredible. And the reports over the summer were pretty glowing. It seems like he's the real deal. What do you see from the kid from USC?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. And, you know, like you said, every veteran is different on how they watch the draft. I watch the draft. I just don't pay attention leading up to it. So when they talked about Leonard falling to us, I didn't realize that he was supposed to fall, and that was a whole big thing. So, but once I saw him out on the field, you knew that he was going to be a special player, because he's got great size, but he's got a great burst. He's strong. And I think as he continues to learn and, you know, feel the speed of the game and, you know, the mental side of the game, he's only going to continue to get better.
You know, there's a guy that you guys are, well, I guess really you are going to have to face this weekend. His name is Danny Shelton. And I don't know if you've seen any of the preseason tape. I'm sure you have, obviously, game planning and stuff. But he's a man. How do you plan on handling this Cleveland Browns defense, which seems to be the stronger part of this Browns team?
Yeah, Danny is a heck of a player already, and you can tell, you know, just from the limited film that we have so far, that he's also going to be, you know, there for a long time and do very well. And, you know, Cleveland's going to have a good defense. It was with Pet for a long time, their head coach.
Yep.
And so, you know, I've got good experience with their defense and seeing what he does. And it's difficult always, you know, that first game, because you never know the gamesmanship of the NFL. How much did they show in the preseason? How much did they hold back? You know, are they going to do anything different when we first come out there? So it's exciting, and I know it's going to be a challenge for us up front, but I think we're ready for it.
Yeah, that's